Welcome back to the Farmhouse Knitting Podcast. My name is Dayna, and I'm coming to you from the woods of Northern Illinois in my sunroom, and I'm here to chat knitting with you guys, and I'm really excited. Happy after Valentine's Day. Today is Valentine's Day when I'm filming this. So it's hopefully either the day after or what day would this be? Thursday or Friday, hopefully. So happy after Valentine's Day to you. I hope your day was very lovely and relaxing and full of love. So this is my knitting podcast. I'm going to show you what I'm working on and what I'm wearing, and that's all. That's everything. I've got some fun things. So first of all, what I'm wearing is very similar to what I'm working on. This is the worsted weight cream cabin sock that I published. This was one of my ones that I said, oh my goodness, it's sitting and it's not published and I'm not doing anything with it. It's finally up on my website and Ravelry and let's see where else, Etsy. It is also free on my blog as a blog post. So I'll put the links and stuff down low. But this is the Wool of the Andes worsted. And the color I used for this one was Crane Heather. So for this pattern, it's actually as identical as you can get it between worsted weight and sock weight yarn to this one. So I did a coin cable up the front. And then I have some slip stitches to kind of frame it. And then the back, hard to see as I'm wearing it, the back has a honeycomb stitch pattern, which you can see a little bit in this sock. There's the honeycomb pattern in the fingering weight. I think I'm calling this one the Golden Harvest socks because of the yarn, and it really reminded me of just corn stalks, as strange as that sounds. We live out in the country and we see a lot of cornfields. So this reminds me of just the corn stalks, and then you've got the wavy tassels, and so that's the coin cable, slip stitch, and more honeycomb stitch in the back. So what I'm wearing is the worsted weight version, and what I'm working on is, like I said, it's I think going to be called the Golden Harvest socks, and I'm knitting them up. I have my pattern draft all written out and printed out, and so that's what I'm going to be working on. This yarn is actually, let me read my notes so I don't say it wrong. This is Mandi's Makings hand-dyed fingering weight yarn, and this color is Golden Wheat Fields. So this is back when she did, like, I don't remember what the theme was. It was farmhouse related ones. So she had like weathered barn door and wood beams or something like that. It was all farmhousey. And so this was the Golden Wheat Fields. And I haven't done anything with it. Like I said, she dyed it, I don't know, a while ago. And it was sitting in my stash, and I'm trying to shop my stash. So that's the yarn that I'm using, and I really like it. And then I'm using 9-inch circular needles. These are bamboo ones that one of you guys recommended to me because I love bamboo, but I couldn't find the tiny needles for it. These are I think these are size 1s that I'm using. My notes say 1. Yeah, this is a US 1. And then I'm going to switch over to double pointed needles soon here because I'm going to do the heel. I'm trying to decide how high I want the leg to go on this one, because if I'm going to start the heel, oh yeah, I'm just about there. Okay. I was thinking to make it about where I normally wear my socks, which is like here. So this was the cross, this was a row 5, so I am now starting a row 1. So I'll work my way back and then cross it back here, and then I think that's where I'll break for the heel. So that's what I'm working on. Over here on the side is what I shared last week. I've got a few more rows of it done, but it's a shawl and it's got a long ways to go, so it won't look like I've really done anything. So I won't even really show that, but that's my winter honey shawl that you can read or you can watch more about in last episode. So, yeah, so let me get knitting here. And as I do, one shop, I guess, update is that I wanted to share that I decided, you know what I lost? Hold on. I lost my stitch marker. I decided that all my future, or at least at this time, and I'm pretty set on this for the future, all of my patterns are going to be free on the blog. And then when I'm able to, like I actually just did one earlier this week, I'll do a tutorial if it feels like that lends well to a YouTube video, so that you can see me do some of the things in the patterns. And but yeah, they will all be free on the blog. So this one going to be free on the blog also. And this is gonna sound weird because I am a pattern designer too, but I don't really like buying patterns. I will buy a pattern if I know that I'm 100% going to use it for like more than one person. So if I'm making, like I made the calligraphy sweater. Here's a good example. I made the calligraphy sweater from the Velvet Acorn, and I made her the pullover. Sorry. I made that. I'm looking for my needle. And I made it for 3 of my daughters, and I plan to make them new ones as they grow out of it because we really like that pattern. But otherwise, if it's a full price pattern, I'm really stingy about what patterns I buy. And I know that's like, people have different feelings about if patterns are free or if they're paid, but I personally want to be able to offer free patterns to people. So, yeah, I mean, we are basically one full-time income family, and I know there are a lot of others similarly who in this economy don't want to be spending a lot of money on patterns, and I want people to still be able to knit. Like I don't want it to be this thing that people can't make. So that is my plan, is that they'll be free, they'll be on my blog. I've gone back to a few old patterns, like the one I did this past week was the Peony Fields crochet headband. I went back, updated that PDF, and turned it into a free pattern on my blog also. So there's a few old ones that will be also free on the blog. But what prompted all this actually, as far as like updating the blog posts and stuff, was because a lot of my old patterns have the name Sparkly Twig on them still, because when I first opened up an Etsy shop almost 9 years ago, 9 years from January, 9 years ago, I opened up an Etsy shop and I called it Sparkly Twig, and I sold like actual physical things that I knit. And actually this next couple weeks, one of my free patterns that I'm going to have on the blog is a PDF that I'm updating. It was the very first like thing that I sold in my Etsy shop, and it was a pair of boot cuffs that had a shamrock or a clover on them. So that's how I started, was my Etsy shop was actually me selling stuff. And then I think I had my second baby, and I realized that I didn't really have the time to sit and knit things one by one anymore, so to fulfill orders. So I started designing things, because I also didn't know that there were certain patterns that you could make to resell. Like say you bought a pattern from somebody for a hat. I didn't know that you could then knit that hat as many times as you want and sell it if you had the permission from the pattern and read all of the, the disclaimer and everything. So I was basically writing my own patterns anyway. It was just chicken scratch and nobody tested it or anything. But it was always something I knew how to read, and then that's what I would just create my orders from. So I eventually started making my own patterns to sell, still under Sparkly Twig. And then we moved to our farmhouse, and I rebranded because I kind of thought I was going to go into more of a lifestyle blog and be more of like a homemaking and knitting type of blog and YouTube channel. And then I realized I don't actually want to have that much of my personal life and my family's life online. So I pretty much ended up right back where I started, which was Sparkly Twig, but I don't know, but I think I kind of had to go full circle because Sparkly Twig started as one thing. I started it before I was ever even pregnant. So it felt like that was kind of the old me, the old knitting me. So anyway, a lot of my PDFs still had, oh no, oh we got it, we can do this. A lot of my old PDFs still had it say Sparkly Twig on it. So you would be buying something from this yellow farmhouse, and then, oh goodness, okay, I think we're good. And then, sorry, I dropped a stitch, and you know how that goes. All right, everything is picked up. So you might buy something from this yellow farmhouse, and then the PDF you get, if it was an older pattern, like a first pattern, would say Sparkly Twig, and no one said anything, but I was self-conscious about it. I was like, somebody's gonna think, did I order the wrong thing? What happened? I don't know. So yes, that's back to being just regular this yellow farmhouse. So everything hopefully will be updated. I have a few last like baby hats that were my first things that I made. I think I have dishcloths and things like that, like just little small things that are left that will be updated with the Sparkly Twig. So if you've bought a pattern before and I go to update it on Ravelry, they automatically do this. They don't automatically. You have to send a message to the buyer. But if you bought a pattern on Ravelry, that's where I would share, hey, I updated the pattern. So if you get that, that would be why. Okay, let me make sure I don't mess this up. So I'm knitting now. I'm knitting everything. Row 2, row 2, row 2. Don't let me forget. Okay. So yeah, that was my real fast. It was not real fast, but that's how my brain works. That was my little update, is things are going to be free because we live in an expensive world. So let's see. I am going to just be doing a short episode today because that's really all there is to share, is that I'm knitting things. This isn't even a full for sure. Like I said, this is the draft pattern. So I'm kind of I wanted to check in with you guys. It's Valentine's Day, and I am having a case of the cozies. I've had it I always have a case of the cozies, but the past bunch of days, we've been having a very sunny February. Doesn't mean every day has been sunny, but compared to January, we've had a really sunny, nice, still chilly February. And so what's giving me a case of the cozies is the morning light coming in our windows into our living room and making pretty shadows on everything, or, showing its light through the shadows. And having my girls be playing the piano while this morning light is coming in our windows. And if you've seen the Keira Knightley Pride and Prejudice, the best Pride and Prejudice and possibly the best movie, it reminds me of the opening scene where they play the song Dawn, and most people probably don't know that that's the name of the song. It was our song that I walked to, our wedding song that I walked down the aisle to. So that's why I know it's called Dawn, and I'm trying to learn how to play it on the piano also. But it's just that beautiful, like the sun is just rising, it's got a soft glow over everything, and then as you make your way into the house, I forgot what her name is, but the one who plays piano is playing piano, and there's just sunlight everywhere, and I just recently rewatched that movie, and it's one of my favorites. And so all of our sunny February weather and the girls playing piano, or someone's always playing piano in the background, has been so cozy and just a warm feeling of home. And so that's been giving me a case of the cozies. We actually got our piano. We talked about doing it before Christmas because I was thinking this would be the coolest thing for everyone to wake up and there's a piano with a big bow on it. Here's me not realizing pianos are really heavy and there's planning into it, and you can't just spontaneously have a piano show up and nobody notices. So we did end up getting one before Christmas though. I had resigned myself to that we weren't going to look for a piano because we didn't really know how we'd move it. We were expecting we'd have to hire movers. And then something got me to look on Facebook Marketplace, and it can only be God's plan because I don't even have Facebook. So I actually did a Google search for Facebook Marketplace and Googled for people giving away pianos because so often people are giving away their pianos and you just have to come move them. So a little church near us was giving away their free, I forgot what it's called. It's, a spinneret, I think is what it's called. So it's a full-size piano, but it's kind of small. It's an upright piano. And when I first heard it's a smaller piano, it's a great starter piano, I was thinking Schroeder's piano on Charlie Brown where it's really little, only not a little grand piano. But it is a normal-sized, adults use it piano, and it's so cute. It fits. We put it under our TV, and we really don't watch much TV, so this is kind of a nice, more homey, less techy thing to have on the wall with the TV. And it was free. We were able to move it ourselves, which I don't even know how that happened, but we did. And we didn't break anything, although it has settled in and it needs tuning, but that's okay. So that's what's been giving me a case of the cozies, is just this feeling of a good cozy home that always makes me think of, like the Little Women era or Pride and Prejudice or something like that, where it's just a big old family with their piano playing at home. So that's giving me a case of the cozies, and I am going to let you guys get on with the rest of your Thursday or Friday, hopefully it is, and I will check in with you guys soon. Hopefully I have a pattern to share with you soon. That is this sock pattern. Okay, I hope you have a good rest of your day, good weekend, hopefully, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.